Hello, everybody. So it's Mixed Media Monday, and I'm going to do something. It is mixed media. It's kind of technique. I'm not sure how mixed media you would call because there's different ways of doing it. Some of it is definitely mixed media. Some of it is more technique. And we're going to actually, I'm sure you'll know because of the title, it's going to be embossing and different types of embossing and what you can do with embossing. I keep it simple, but also I want to make sure that everybody gets the idea of embossing. So if you're new to paper crafts, hopefully this will help. So the first most obvious one is if you use an embossing folder, and so I'm just going to do real quick. It's very simple. You have your machine, and I actually found my metal plate. So I have found with Anna Griffin's machine that if I try to put a Spellbinder's embossing folder in, it's too thick to use the two clear plates. So I have to use the magnetic plate, a clear plate, and I've been using like pieces of paper and stuff. I'm going to try using the metal shim and seeing if that works okay for this. If not, I'll put paper in. Doesn't matter. And you know, I hate to tell you to do it with your machine and to just play around and figure out, because I don't want you to mess up your machine, but sometimes that's what you have to do. Just be careful. You know, I have the instructions for this, and it says what the plates should be and all that, but sometimes it's just not right, or it's just not enough, or it's just too much, even though, you know, it's not supposed to be. And so I'll show you. I'm gonna try to put the two, because every once in a while this will work. So what did I do with the other plate? There it is. The other clear plate. I want to be sure. Okay, so I have the two clear plates, and I'm going to try, and you'll hear it's not going to take it. But we'll try it, just because sometimes it will. See, it's just, I'm trying, but it won't go in. It's too thick. So if I do this, now listen to this, and it's going to just go through. You can hear it a little bit, but it's not really putting any pressure. So let me show you what happened. It went through, but it didn't really put any pressure on it. And so when I lift it up, you can see there's a little bit. It did work that time, but it's not a lot. But it did work, so let's give it credit for that time. It was enough. But let me show you what happens if I add a little bit more to the plate. But if you're, you know, read your instructions, do what yours tells you. What did I just do with those scissors here there? Do what yours tells you to do. This is just what I do. And I don't want anybody messing up their machine, so you have to watch out for that. Be careful of that. Don't ever force anything through. If your machine doesn't want to take it, do not force it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add the metal shim to the magnet and watch what happens and the difference, and I'll show you. You can hear the difference. Maybe, maybe not. Now let's see how different. See if you can notice. Because I sure can. I mean, see the difference? This is just way more. Now, one of the techniques that you can do when you emboss something like this is have a sanding block, and you can sand, and I'll sand this one so you can see. This is the one that was lighter, right? All that was just the magnet, not the metal. And you can see it's actually coming out. That's blue, where the paper is purple. This is showing blue now, right? But if you're usually going to get white. And I really like that stripe down the middle of it, blue, when this looks purple over here. I do. I don't. I do like the way that looks, actually. That's pretty cool. I'll have to remember this. This is the one that didn't have the metal plate. Here's the metal plate one. See how it's easier already? Just because it's standing up higher. So sanding is an easy thing to do. You can, you don't have to buy a special sanding block. This happened to come in my Crafter's Companion kit. But you can just go get any sanding block. Now you want to try different ones. Kind of want to sort of find, you know, just I've gone and gotten just regular sandpaper. Ugh, look at my hands. Ugh. Out of the garage. And I've used it, so see how much easier. I didn't spend half the time on it, and it was because it stands up more. Here's the thing with this. Let me grab another sheet so I can show you the difference and how to tell. And so, if I did the same thing with this paper, it is not going to do nothing. It might get a little lighter, you know, but this is solid core paper. And I can tell just by looking, because then you see the middle of that. I don't know if it's going to show on camera. But when you look at that, you see the white edge. When you look at this, there is no white edge. If you ever need to know and you don't know, rip it. When you rip this, you will see a white edge. I ripped this one. I ripped it. There's no white edge. It stays purple. It's purple all the way through. No white. But this one very obviously has white. That's how you know which one is worth sanding and which one isn't. Now, there's also another way, and this is the old way. Well, the old way, and I'm gonna just use this. And if I had a mouse pad, I don't have. See, we really don't do this method anymore, so I don't really have the stuff. But what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna give you an example of doing it. I'm not gonna use that paper. I'm just gonna do some hearts. And I need a piece of paper. And I want to show you, be able to show you that it works. So I'm just gonna cut a little piece of white core paper so that I can sand it, just to show you that it does work. And I'm gonna take a stencil. This is very old time. Oh, yeah, pretty old time because just people just don't do this anymore because there's embossing folders now. But this will work on, I think we did it a lot with, I'm going to do the hearts. We did it a lot with words. So you get a stencil, and you don't even have to use a stencil. Actually, you could use anything you want to use. You could do it freeform. Maybe I'll show you some of that. So I'm just going to use this stencil though, and I'm going to put it, and I'm going to take this ball tool and just come in and push, but don't push too hard. Depends on what you have in there. And I'm going to kind of fill it in with this. You can just do the outline. I was always one of the fill it in. So these ones I'll fill in just so you get an idea. These middle ones I'll do the outline. And you're really just kind of applying some pressure on it. You don't want to do too much that you're ripping the paper. You just doing a little bit. And then I'll fill these in. So one row will be just, the middle will be just outlined. And the four corner ones will be filled in. Okay, I want to make sure I did that good. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over, and there is embossing on it. Now, I said you could freeform it, right? So let's say I have the ability to draw, which I don't, but let's just say I do. Let's say I want my name in here. How about that? Let's do Lori. Let's do, let's just do some squiggles. There we go. Flip it over. Now Lori's backwards. So don't do that. We used to do it with the stencil. That's so, but I thought since I was doing it, so don't do that because it's backwards. So you have to make sure you do the stencil where it turns out okay, but you can see where I freeformed that. Let me show you. Now, with the sandpaper, what you can do. Of course, it is not as perfect. Why is it not? Because it's human. It's not the machine doing it. It's me doing it. And it's going to give you a little bit more of a rustic look. Right? I mean, you can see. It will work. It will. Just be patient with it. This is filled in, so I'm trying to... It's just not as much in the middle, I guess. See? That one's starting to work. But the outline ones look real good. Ooh, that one went too deep with the sandpaper. I dug in there. Not a good idea. Just like that. But it does show if you variate your pressure, it will show that look. You can see where I didn't push as hard. Right where I didn't push as hard. And if you look, you can really see, yeah, she didn't push as hard there. right? Okay. Now, this is something that I've never tried, and I really don't know too much about it. But they have, some of them have a soft, rubbery, a matte, and I don't think I have that for my Anna Griffin. I don't think. Let me check. But I don't think Anna Griffin comes with it. Let's see. The matte. A, B, D. Which one's C? D is the metal shim. It doesn't show it. Embossing plate. Okay, see, it doesn't show it. So here's what I'm going to show you. If it works, I don't know if it's going to work. This is just something that I thought I would try because I don't have that rubbery shim or whatever it's called that goes in the machine. I don't. And I was going to try using this for the give. So that's where we're going with this. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot. And we're going to try. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this. And it's going to have to be a little bit... And honestly, I don't know that I've ever done this before. Because I've always felt like I want to stencil my stencils and emboss my embossing folders. But I know a lot of people do this, and that's why I'm trying it. So what I'm going to do is get this, put the paper here. I don't know if this is the right direction or not, and if it doesn't work out right, we'll turn it the other way and try it the other way. Okay, which means the paper and cloth here. I don't know, but we're going to try. So we're going to stick that in, and away we go. You can hear it put an effort. Okay. It put effort in. Now, see it? It worked. It worked perfectly. Look at that. You can even see it on here. Okay, so you just gotta have something that's somewhat soft to go through. But like I said, be careful with your plates. You know, I'm very careful. I don't send too much through. I've seen some people send things through, and I think, oh, could you take that chance? Let me sand it so you can see. That it is embossed in the paper. It's not like an embossing folder, but I am actually surprised how well it did. How embossed it is. Because I've never done it, like I said, and I didn't know it worked that well. It did give it more than I thought it would. So, I don't know if that says anything. Yeah, it looks kind of more like an outline than the whole thing, even though the whole thing is embossed. But there it is, very shabby if you want hearts embossed on your... There you go. That was easy too. Pretty easy. But this dust is making a mess. Look at my hands. Alright. Now, that is all called dry embossing. And that doesn't require a lot of stuff except for a die cutting machine. or, you know, a ball tool and some stencils or whatever you want to emboss. Of course, you could do it all freehand. That's up to you. And then we have, let me see, that's my stencil. We also have heat embossing. And heat embossing is a whole different thing. It does not involve the machine. As a matter of fact, I'll just turn my machine off. It does not involve the machine. It involves a heat gun. So you have to make sure that your paper that you're using is heatable. Heatable. Because if it's going to rack in the heat, then it's not going to hold up to heat embossing. You also need, let me find it. So you need the heat gun. You need paper that can withhold the heat. And you need a pigment ink pad. A pigment ink pad. Oh, there's my square bottle that I was not sure of. Or what did I do with those other ink pads? They should have been here somewhere. They're clear, but they're like a glue. I just had them. I thought I had them with these ink pads. So now I don't know what I did with them. Aha. They're back in the back. See, that's water reactive. Not going to work. Not going to work. Translucent clear watermark. Watermark. For heat embossing and resist. For heat embossing and resist. So, either a pigment or a clear watermark. Or some of them say embossing. You can also use some of these glues, like this one for the gems. It's going to hold that ink. It's going to hold the powder. It's going to hold the powder. And that's what we want. Okay. So we need a stamp. Let me see. I thought of everything. Didn't think of a stamp. So let me grab a stamp. Real quick here. Stamp a stamp. Okay. I think I can get one out of here. I'm not going to use this glue. Maybe I will. We'll see. But I'm not going to use it on my stamps. Just simply because I don't want to have to clean it off my stamps. And I really like these stamps. So I'm not going to do it to these. Because I love this set. It's so cute. So I'm going to come in here with my stamps. And what we're going to do, I'm going to come in with my purple paper. I'm going to grab a stamping block. Figure out which one I want to use. How about that one? And I'm going to take, okay, the little rabbit. The little rabbit, I'm going to use, no. The little rabbit, I'm going to use the watermark. I just want to show you the difference. Okay, here's the watermark. Make sure this is down good. Okay, I see it. You probably can't because it's clear, but it is there. Okay, and then these flowers. just so you can see for sure what the flowers are going to do. I'm going to use the pigment. The thing with the pigment ink takes longer to dry. That's why it will work. The watermarks, the water resistant and all those water-based, not water resistant, water reactive and all those water-based, they do not stay wet long enough. They dry too fast. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with this yellow and I'm going to sprinkle it on. Here's the clear. I might have waited too long and let that dry a little bit too much, but we'll see. Now, I'm going to put this powder. This does, just because I poured it out, don't mean I can't pour it back. See how it, this is, there was something sticking up there. I'm pouring this back in, and this powder will last you a long time, because if you look, you can tell that was really nothing. It really kept nothing. And you just get your heat gun now, and I'm gonna hold the paper with this, and it's gonna get loud, so everybody hold your ears. But I'm just gonna it needs to get hot. It's not getting hot. There we go. I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's getting shinier. And that's how you know it's done. You don't need to do this. You could just slowly, easily. Once it starts, it works pretty quick. Now, some people right away will go into doing stuff with it. I like to wait a little bit and let it cool off because it's a little hot. Now, I don't know about the truth of this, but I've heard that all this stuff really is, this embossing powder, is finely ground up plastic. And so when you heat it and it melts together, what you're getting is a plastic layer. And so it is embossed. It's not deep embossed, but it is embossed in there. Right? It's embossed. There's also the clear. So any color I put on here, because I used yellow embossing powder, should get covered up and become yellow. Unless I use clear, and then that ink color is going to show through. So some people would rather invest in the ink anyways, because they're going to probably use it for more things, and use the clear, right? Use the clear to go over, and then they, basically have all these colors because they got the clear. That's a personal thing. I was kind of wondering if I should show you that water reactive is not going to hold it. Water reactive. Let me get it in. I'm going to put it right straight away on so you can see. It won't hold it. Just in case you need a pigment ink. Now some hybrids will Some hybrids will hold it. And you don't know that they're like a pigment or whatever. But they are. They have... Oh, look it. That water reactive did hold it. Let's see if it'll hold it. Let me put this away first. Now, they always say that it won't. They always say that water reactive won't hold it. How did that water reactive hold it? Did I just do it that fast? Let's see what happens when I put my heat gun to it. Will that blow it away? Let's see what happens. Okay, this is not supposed to work. I'm wondering if it's because I already had the other ink, because it still feels sticky. So it could still be from the pigment ink. Let me try a different stamp, just so we can make sure, because if that works, that's awesome, right? But it's not supposed to. But, yeah. Water reactive. Open this up. This is pink. Of course, you won't be able to tell. Water reactive. Stamp. I don't even see it on there, so that's got to be what the issue was. What the thing was is that it still had some of the pigment ink on it. No, look. It's still there. Wow. That's amazing. It's not supposed to. But see, I'm going to have to test this out a little further and look into this and see what's going on. Because I never had it work before. I don't understand why it's working. Let me see what happens. So we know why the flowers, because that probably still had some of the pigment on there still, but why is this? Something's not right. I'm wondering if I got the wrong. It looks like pink. It looks like a winter rose. Don't trust it, folks. I'm telling you right now, that is not supposed to work. And I don't know why it is working. I don't know if there's something going on with that ink. If there's something stuck. I don't know. But it's there. Is it gonna come off? No, not any more than this. And this or this. Oh, look, that one didn't. But I'm telling you, don't do it. You'll be wasting. Yeah, I mean, you can try and see, just like I did, and if it experiment and see what happens, but it's not supposed to work. It's not supposed to. And I don't know. Maybe I'll do some more checking on that and find out what's going on. Why is that working? Anyways, I'm gonna put this adhesive away. This will work too, but you know, it's a very messy stuff. It's very sticky. Sticky. Put that away. All right, everybody. I hope this was helpful and you learned something. And I don't know, especially for people that are new that don't know. Some people have never seen that you can emboss without all the embossing stuff. They've never seen that and have no idea. And so maybe now you'll know. So I can't remember where I seen somebody say, you do what? You know, in a stencil? What is a ball tool? Yeah. And it doesn't, you know, I don't know. I don't know how. But some people don't know. So, all right. I hope everybody's having a blessed day. If you like my video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again. Bye-bye now.